Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vrajantamanupeta krityam dvaipaya virahakatarajhava putrecitam mayatayo tarabodinedustam sarvabhuta hridayam munimanatosmi yam svanubhavamakilam shrutisaramekam adhyatmajipachititirshatotamam samsarinam karunaya purana guhyam yam sarvabhut hridayami guruhinam. So today we're reading from the ninth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter number 6, and we're gonna have several verses beginning with 28 up to 40 something. 40? 40 sharp. Do you read the word for word? Which one? Last one first?
The last one.
14
and 14.
Okay, so the first, the verses, the chapter is entitled The Downfall of Saubhari Muni. So first of all, we should know why we...
The different effect of the guna by the karma. The karma, the role of the anartha, if the person becomes proud, then we can have envy, jealousy, anger, etc. and can fall down.
Mm-hmm.
So we should chant.
So we should?
Chant Hare Krishna.
Oh.
It's another approach of
Huh?
it's another approach that inspires us to chant more.
Let's have a good fortune. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Any other? Yes.
In addition to helping us to avoid falling down, it also tells us what to do if we do fall down and how to restrain ourselves.
It makes us humble to know that it's, even on such an advanced stage, there can be still obstacles. It makes us always aware.
Make one aware. Yeah. Yes, it's very important to understand the nature of the ninth canto. Because Srimad Bhagavatam has a very precise logic, right? So it's not that we're talking about this thing or that thing, but it's very sharp why. It's very clear why this is described here. Basically, well, maybe we can make a short overview. Because we have to know why these things are discussed here, not before this, not after that. Because, so Srimad Bhagavatam basically consists of, like, we can say 4 parts. The first part is first canto, then the cantos from 2nd to 9th, then the 10th canto, and then 11 and 12, the 4th part. And the first of all, Srimad Bhagavatam shows how to be able to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, because that's the most important thing probably. Therefore, the first canto is called Adhikari Tattva, which means that you can learn how to listen to Srimad Bhagavatam from the first canto. And basically, who knows how Srimad Bhagavatam himself, or itself, I can say, himself, how Srimad Bhagavatam describes how one should listen to Srimad Bhagavatam. No, well, you can say it in your own words. Yes.
With rapt attention.
Yeah, with rapt attention, and yeah, that's right, with rapt attention. But what is attention? What is attention actually? What does it mean being attentive? Does it mean that you hear every single word?
With the heart also.
What does it mean with your heart?
That you really feel what's being experienced by the characters.
You are feeling what was experienced by the characters.
You're trying to get in touch with your feelings, with what
With
the
the
characters
feelings.
are.
That's in the theater.
Sorry?
In the theater it works better. It's a dramatic experience. Well, if you can listen, if you can hear Bhagavatam in that way, that's called Bhavukaha. Bhavukaha. Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaha. That means that you can actually relate and you can feel the rasam in there. That's a very good level. I mean, but maybe not for all.
Like just not only listen but to apply it in, like you churn it in your mind and apply it in your life also.
Yeah, that's in a way correct. But see, what you're saying is that, okay, I listen to Bhagavatam in order to apply it. That means attentive hearing, right? But why you want to apply it? Because you cannot just hear and then apply. It doesn't work like that. I mean, there must be another reason why you are listening attentively. Yes, Radhaji.
I remember one verse said we should hear with humble and submissive approach, so that the Lord enter in our heart, and that after any time we are in the situation, we can appear by a shastra, by vision. We can remember the lila or the shastra. So when we are, it's the verse I don't remember which somebody was saying, if we are humble and submissive. So
If we have
humble and submissive means
imbalance,
submissive.
humbleness.
So
Yeah.
the Lord can be installed in our heart.
Then we can study.
The Lord can install in our heart.
The Lord can install in our heart. Mhm. Yes, Krishna.
Krishna speaks in the Bhagavad Gita that if one doesn't follow the teachings of the scripture but acts according to his own whims, he doesn't attain happiness, perfection, or the supreme destination. So Krishna's making the point that we have to follow the Shastras, not just a matter of hearing it.
Why?
To get happiness, the supreme destination.
Okay. That's a good idea. That's very cool.
Very highly motivated.
That's very cool. Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, also that we study it scrutinizingly to really try to get the deeper message out of it.
Why you want to get deeper message?
We want to make progress.
In
We
what?
want to get love for Krishna.
You want to get love for Krishna. Okay.
Being completely satisfied.
Huh?
Being completely satisfied, as it is stated, just Mashu Prashidati.
I see that. Okay, yeah, that's, I mean, these are very good words that you're saying. That's, okay, I want this, I want that. But actually, Bhagavatam, in the first canto, describes that actually there are three possible reasons why someone is listening to Bhagavatam. The first is explained in the first 3 chapters, which are the questions by the sages. Yes? Shonakadi Rishi, they are asking the questions, and they are listening to Sutta Goswami because they have a particular reason. So see, the thing is that whatever is done, and especially when you want to do something consciously, means that you're not just doing a ritual, or what's that? Nashta Praesha Bhadrishu Nitya Bhagavata Seva. Sometimes this verse is translated as by regularly visiting the classes. Right? But what are you doing there? Are you just sleeping or waiting for breakfast? Or, I mean, you're just, this is the way to be accepted in this particular society. What is actually, so therefore we should always be very absolutely clear that there is always a reason and a purpose. There is a reason why you're doing this, and there is a purpose why you're doing that. And so the sages of Naimisharanya, they have a very particular reason and purpose. What's their purpose? They want to save the world. They want to save the world from Kali Yuga. And they have the means, basically, but they are not sure how it all works, and if it's gonna work this time or not. They're having this 1,000 years sacrifice, right? So they're like, they are trying to save the world, basically, although they don't know how to do it, and they are based on the karma kanda, karma kandya vichar. They think that, well, actually you can counteract Kali Yuga. I mean, that's the way. That's why they're hearing to Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, it's not very profound, and Bhagavatam calls it Kanishta listener. The first 3 chapters describing this Kanishta listener, the one who is actually not very much qualified to hear Bhagavatam. Then the next 3 chapters describe Vyasadeva. And Vyasadeva, Vyasadeva is the avatar of the Lord, but in that particular case, in the first canto, he is exemplifying a very important purpose of hearing. What was that? Why he's listening to Bhagavatam? Who can remember? Why Vyasadeva is asking his guru Narada?
He was unsatisfied that he has not glorified Lord, he has not established.
No, he was not unsatisfied because he didn't glorify the Lord. This is what Narada told him, that you didn't glorify the Lord. But his personal reason was Mumukshu, it's called. Mumukshu means that he was aspiring for liberation. So these are 2 very important motives, karma kandya vichar and jnana kandya vichar, which means that, and actually it's not just some lofty words, dear friends. It's very important to understand that these are our motives. So if I'm listening to Srimad Bhagavatam because I want to solve my material problems, I will be listening like Kanishta listener. That is not bad, but this is not giving the proper result. This is not Nitya Bhagavata Seva. And even what's the description of the chapters of Vyasadeva listening is also not giving the proper result, unless one meets a proper guru who will change his consciousness properly. So, and then the chapters from 7 to 18 or even 19, they describe Maharaja Parikshit as the Uttama listener. Uttama listener. Describe that this is actually how one should listen to Srimad Bhagavatam, hear Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the only proper way to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is why at the end, in this 37th verse of the 19th chapter, when Parikshit asks the proper question, because all those questions were like about everything, especially the 6 questions of the sages, right? Tell us about this, tell us about that, like Vila avatars, Purusha avatars, so many questions. Where is Dharma? As if they don't know. I mean, so many questions. So when we are motivated by our extended selfishness, we will have so many questions. And we will ask all those speculative questions, basically, without any use. And so Maharaja Parikshit, so okay, dear devotees, why I'm saying that is that if we want to know why this fall down or downfall is described here, we should first of all be clear what is the question being answered here. So what question is answered by Shukadeva Goswami here in the 9th canto? So what was the question of Maharaj Parikshit? You can remember.
How to get liberated?
No. No and no. Forget about this liberation.
No.
Mamma mia, let me go. No. Escape from reality. No. That's very important. And this is the problem of Saubhari Muni that you're saying now, you're mentioning. This is the problem of Saubhari Muni, that he wanted to escape from reality. I'm just a poor boy. I need no sympathy. So, what was the question of Parikshit? Huh? No, first canto, 19th chapter, verses 37 to 38. He had only one question.
wanted to know what he should do at the time of death.
Yes.
So
What I should hear about, what I should not hear about, what I should speak about, what I should not speak about, what I should remember about, what I should not remember about, what I should worship, and whom I should worship, whom I should not worship. Basically, he asks 8 questions in one. You can say 1 or 4 or 8. And this is the most important thing, that if we want to understand Bhagavatam, we should not just know what was the question of Maharaj Parikshit, but we should relate to that question. I mean, that question must be in our mind, at least in our mind, because otherwise we'll just not hear what is spoken. We'll just hear stories and this and that, somebody went there, did something, but we will not hear, because attention, please be attentive now. Hearing with attention means that you have a question, the answer to which you're looking for. This is called attention. There is no other attention. There are technical attention skills, sitting straight, writing notes, what else? Coming in time. In time means before.
No sleeping.
Not. You can put it positively. Yeah, so many things we can technically do, but that's not attention as it is. The real attention is that I need to hear the answer. Then you will be very attentive. That's the only way. So there is no ritual that can help us. So therefore the spiritual life doesn't mean you're doing things, but spiritual life means you're looking for answers. You're looking for solutions. So when we stop looking for solutions, our spiritual life becomes just an empty ritual. It may be very profound in the sense that I'm doing so many things. I'm doing puja, I'm selling books, I'm dancing, chanting, I'm doing so many things. But if I'm not looking for the answers, that's not spiritual practice. We should be very clear about that, absolutely clear. We should not cheat ourselves. Because then I say, well, I'm burned out. I mean, they burned me out. But what did you do? Did you actually practice any spirituality, or you were just doing ritual, hoping that somebody will appreciate it and give you, some solace or freedom? What's that? I want to break through. I want to. That's my action. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I just want to be, taking prasad and sleeping and going to the spiritual world. It's not working like that. So, dear friends, and then Shukadeva Goswami in the 2nd chapter, in the beginning, he basically answers the question. He says that you should hear about the Lord, you should listen about the Lord. Then he describes different sadhanas. So therefore the 2nd canto is called Sadhana Tattva, where he describes different ways, like several ways basically, how to fulfill one's purpose, the life's purpose basically. And that's, you follow? Anybody follows the logic? No? You're still there? I will. So if you ask the questions, if you ask the proper question, then you get the answer. And for Parikshit, Shukadeva Goswami came. Shukadeva Goswami didn't come to Naimisharanya. He didn't come to Vyasadeva as his guru. Yeah. He left Vyasadeva. So see, what was the answer of Shukadeva Goswami to the question? Hear about the Lord, chant His glories and worship Him. Yeah, right. So, and then, yeah, that's one of the parts. One of the parts of the answer.
Harinama and Kirtan.
Yeah, Harinama and Kirtan. Yeah, basically that's the answer. So basically this is the answer. But then from Canto 2 to Canto 9, all the way. Shukadeva Goswami describes different misconceptions of what is sadhana and what is sadhya. Because sadhya will be described, sadhya, the goal, the perfection of the search for truth, is described in the 10th canto. And if you don't work with your consciousness, if you do not consciously get rid of all the obstacles, not just obstacles, but misconceptions, the false understandings of what is sadhana and sadhya, you will never get to the 10th canto. You can read it, but we will never understand the 10th canto unless we get rid of all the misconceptions. And all of those are described in the cantos from 3 to 9. Like Canto 3 deals with karma, anishvara, sankhya. Then 4th canto deals with Radha Parisisvara Mandir. Anyways, up to the 9th canto, and the 9th canto is describing very important obstacles, which is the chaos amongst the Vaishnavas, in the society of Vaishnavas, in the society of practicing devotees. The obstacle which is described in the 9th canto is the idealization of thinking that when they come to the society of Vaishnavas, everything will be perfect. Everybody will be, apsaras and demigods. Everybody will be very kind and very nice and sweet also, as they say. You're so sweet. So the 9th canto describes that actually that's not the situation. That actually the people are people, to err is human, and the devotees will also commit mistakes and crimes and whatever. So many things will be done in the society of the Vaishnavas. And the most dangerous enemy, or the enemy of the Vaishnavas, which is there in the society. It's embedded. I mean, we have to deal with it. That's the point, that we have to deal with it. We cannot neglect it. It's there. The most dangerous enemy is what? Is lust. And this lust, not in a philosophical way, but in a practical way. Lust means that a man is looking for a woman, and a woman is looking for a man. And this is eternal. And it's happening, and this is why people, they betray one another. This is why people hurt each other. This is because of that thing, and that is there. And and the most vivid illustration of how this lust is harmful for people is what? Which story in the 9th canto? Which story in the 9th canto illustrates most vividly that the attraction and attachment between men and women is detrimental for spiritual life.
The one with the
Durvasa?
Pravasa.
Durvasa. Yeah, that's very nice. Yeah, Purava and Durvasa, yeah. That's one of the stories. Anyways, there are many stories, but the commentators, they say that the most vivid example is the story of Sri Ram, Haribo. Ramayana, as it's given in the 9th canto, is there to illustrate this point. That when a man is attached to a woman, he will suffer, even if he is God himself. Attachment. Attachment doesn't mean that I love someone. Attachment means that I use someone. That's called attachment. So we're not speaking, and Bhagavatam doesn't speak about against love, relationships, family, etc. But Bhagavatam says if you're using someone for your pleasure, that's your problem. That's called lust. What was that verse? Priti Vancha Tarinama Kam.
Atmendriya Pritivancha.
What first? Atmendriya Priti Vancha Tara Prema Kam.
Bali Tara Kam, Krishnandriya Pritivancha Dari.
Tara Prema Nam. Yes. So this is called Kam. Kam means that you want Atmendriya Priti Vancha. You want Vancha means desire. Atmendriya, my senses. So this is the problem. This is the problem described here. And another problem, which is illustrated by, so yeah, please, so dear friends, I mean, maybe that's too much, but this is what we should definitely discuss before reading the verses even, because otherwise we will just, go through the, just scroll through, the news. Okay, because at least, especially today, because we have so many verses, and we will just scroll through them, like you do in Telegram. Okay, this happened, that, and so what's the use of that? So therefore, we should be very clear of what we're doing, and if we do not approach the verses in this way, we will just waste time scrolling through Bhagavatam. Therefore, we should be very clear what we're doing. We're looking for the answers. And the answer is that, okay, the answer to which question, first of all? And all of us, we have that question. What am I supposed to do? Mriyamananam. Like Parikshit Maharaj uses that word, Mriyamananam, in the plural, which means that all those who are just about to die. So, if I don't understand that I'm about to die, I will not have success in reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Only if I understand samsara, dhavana, lalita, loka, I'm burning in this ocean of forest fire. I'm burning. It's just a question of time, very short time. So I have a problem. I have a big problem, and I have to solve it. I cannot just wait for the problem to how we call it, dissolve or disappear. I cannot just wait for it because it will not go. It will not go. I have to solve it myself. That's my problem. I have to solve it, and Bhagavatam can help me. This is the attitude, the proper attitude before we read Srimad Bhagavatam, before we hear it. And and another problem, illustrated by Saubhari Muni, is escapism. Everybody knows what escapism is, right? That's basically that I want to escape.
Don't take responsibility.
Huh?
Do not take the responsibility.
And then do
Do not assume, do not take responsibility.
Yeah, I don't take responsibility, exactly. And it's really detrimental for the spiritual life. And then in the 10th canto, we will see that actually the way Saubhari Muni behaved led to the appearance of which demon of Vrindavan? What is the consequence? Kali, exactly. That if we don't get rid of the obstacle, which is illustrated by the story of Saubhari Muni, we will get into trouble. We will become like Kali. We can even live in Vrindavan. We can stay inside Yamuna. But we will live in our bubble. Just like Saubhari Muni, he was living in his bubble. And that bubble, that was called what, Stanu Siddhi or something. He was making the liquids into solids. Anyways, he was in his bubble, and we know the immediate result was that he, you know the story that what happened to him. He saw the fish playing there, and all that came later. But the long result, or how we call it, not the immediate, but the long-term result, was that basically he became Kaliya. Of course, he didn't become Kaliya, but this is the mentality. This is the progression of mentality. From this one, you go further to a Kaliya mentality. So therefore, it's very important to hear. So what was the problem of Saubhari Muni? And why? And Bhagavatam says that, guys, folks, this is your problem actually. You have this in your heart. Heart means your desires, our motivations. So we want to escape from reality. Easy come, easy go. Will you let me go? Yeah, I just heard that song yesterday. Easy come, easy go. We're easy come, easy go devotees. Okay, yes, Radha Yatra, this festival, prasad, initiation, I don't mind. What else? So many things are happening. We're just easy going.
Just chant Hare Krishna.
Yeah, just chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Like, very often I hear my guru, Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Yoga Maharaj, he also mentions that many times. He says that this is big mistake thinking that Prabhupada gave us a formula that you chant Hare Krishna and by that you will become happy. By doing that you will become happy. Actually, many devotees say that you chant Hare Krishna and also be happy. Because you cannot become happy by chanting Hare Krishna. This is meant for Krishna's happiness, not for your happiness. And we're chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Oh, you know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Because it's not meant to make you happy. It's meant to make Krishna happy and devotees happy. And then you can become happy also. So, yeah. So we should be clear, what is the problem? The problem of Saubhari Muni described here is that he wanted to escape from reality, not to solve his problems. And if we do like that, we will never get to the 10th canto. So let us hear the verses. We have a few minutes left, but I mean, that was important. The 28th verse. When the Brahmanas got up from bed and saw the water pot empty, they inquired from who had done this work of drinking the water meant for begetting a child. When the Brahmanas came to understand that the king, inspired by the supreme controller, had drunk the water, they all explained, alas, the power of providence is real power. No one can counteract the power of the supreme. In this way, they offered their respectful obeisances unto the Lord. So actually this is also important. This is not just verses that we go through and forget about them. Here the very important wisdom is spoken. What is that? What is the lesson?
Providence.
Ah?
Will of providence.
I don't hear it.
Will of the providence, he's saying.
Will of the providence. What about the will of the providence?
Like he was almost being forced to take the.
And then what's the lesson? You tell me the lesson. Don't tell me the events. I already know them.
We make our plans. Krishna has his plan, but his plan
Anything
works.
else? There is nothing happening by chance. This is the lesson. So first of all, you will not get to the spiritual world by chance. Mercy doesn't mean by chance. And the second lesson is that whatever happens to you now, the body you have, the mentality you have, the community or society you are in, it's not by chance. It's not by chance. The place where you live, the city, the country, it's not by chance. And you cannot neglect it, saying that I don't care for it. You cannot not care. Because this is not by chance. Then, thereafter, in due course of time, a son with all good symptoms of a powerful king came forth from the lower right side of King Yuvanashva's abdomen. The baby cried so much for breast milk that all the Brahmanas were very unhappy. Who will take care of this baby? They said. Then Indra, who was worshipped in that yagya, came and solaced the baby. Do not cry, Indra said. Then Indra put his index finger in the baby's mouth and said, You may drink me. You may drink me. Oh my God. So, abandoned children. I mean, that's also reality. We cannot say that it doesn't exist. And if we try to, like the, how do you call this bird, strauss, or how do you call in English this? The guy, the bird which is running in Australia. Ostrich, yeah. And so it covers its head in the sand, right? Or a rabbit. When a rabbit sees a tiger or whatever, a wolf, what is it doing? Covers its eyes with the ears. The wolf is not there. The wolf's not there. This is called escapism. No, we cannot escape the reality. Because Yuvanashva, the father of the baby, was blessed by the Brahmanas, he did not fall a victim of death. After this incident, he performed severe austerities and achieved perfection in that very spot. It didn't change anything. That's another, it's the same lesson, that just do not change anything. Just accept your life. Mandata, the son of Yuvanashva, was the cause of fear for Ravana and other thieves and rogues who caused anxiety. O King Parikshit, because they feared him, the son of Yuvanashva was known as Trasadasyo. This name was given by King Indra. By the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the son of Yuvanashva was so powerful that when he became emperor of the and ruled the entire world, consisting of 7 islands, without any second ruler. Okay, so he was very powerful. 35. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not different from the auspicious aspects of great sacrifices, such as the ingredients of the sacrifice, the chanting of Vedic hymns, the regulative principles, the performer, the priests, the results of the sacrifice, the arena of sacrifice, and the time of sacrifice. You follow why this is described? The Supreme Lord is not different from all that. Why this stress is done here? What's the first? Brahma, Hari, Brahmagne.
Brahmarpanam, Brahma, Hadir, Brahmagna,
What's the meaning of this verse?
Basically, everything is offered attains the same spiritual nature.
Basically, the meaning is that whatever situation you are in, that's also Krishna, if you utilize it for the sacrifice. So this is the lesson of the 9th canto. Please don't try to escape from reality, but try to how do you call it, dovetail or use the reality. Just accept the reality and then dovetail it for your spiritual progress. Okay? And here, the Supreme Person, knowing the principles of self-realization. These are the principles of self-realization. Self-realization, because self doesn't mean I'm transcendental. Self means that I'm transcendental, but I'm put into the situation. So self, myself, I am spirit soul in the material circumstances. This is the truth as it is. I'm not transcendental. I mean, by nature I'm transcendental, but right now I'm in the material situation. So, and I cannot neglect it. So, Mandhata worshipped that transcendentally situated Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although Lord is transcendentally situated. I am not transcendentally situated, but I can worship Him while staying here. Lord Vishnu, who comprises all the demigods. He also gave immense charity to the Brahmanas, and thus he performed yagya to worship the Lord. All places from where the sun rises on the horizon, shining brilliantly, to where the sun sets, from where it rises to where the sun sets, are known as the possession of this celebrated Mandhata, the son of Yuvanashva. Anybody, any comments? Yes?
It's a little bit not in the text, but it's about the practice. So for study the Srimad Bhagavatam, should we attend the class, for example, I was thinking, I'm not at this level, I didn't read that. So should I stay in the house and read with the Guru and pass the Bhakti Yoga, for example, and then after come in the temple, or should I listen and take the nectar everywhere? And after when I'm alone, study alone Bhakti Yoga.
You mean when I'm alone, I study, when I come, I hear?
Yes. Because I hear what you said, but like I didn't read systematically until this chapter and verse. My mind is a little bit blank. I don't hear anything.
Yeah, you don't know the context.
Yes, I cannot grasp on the.
Yeah, therefore, well, just the short answer. When we come to a class, we must be prepared. That's the thing. That preparation means that first of all you read about the context. Then, second thing is that you contemplate on your goals in life, or at least in your studies of Bhagavatam. And the third step is that you compile a list of questions that you have for this particular class. Then it's called class. Otherwise it's called lecture. And when people come for lecturing, okay, we hear, and basically lectures are meant for entertainment, not for education. Yeah, and that's the problem of one of the ISKCON problems. When Srila Prabhupada established this morning classes, he called them classes. And there is a famous letter, yeah, where he writes that I want you to discuss the topics thoroughly from different angles. And then when you are finished, then you go to the next verse. Basically, it's not just reading one verse and speaking whatever you heard on BBC. But that's about understanding and discussing. Yeah? But you have to be prepared. That's the thing. Okay. Yeah, so what is the meaning of this? Any comments on this verse? My God, I have twice. Okay, let's go further. All places from where the sun rises, where the sun rises on the horizon, shining brilliantly. That I read. Mandata begot 3 sons in the womb of Bindumati, the daughter of Shashabindu. These sons were Purukutsa, Ambarisha, and Muchukunda, a great mystic yogi. These 3 brothers had 50 sisters, who all accepted the great sage Saubhari as their husband. Oh, this is where the story of Saubhari comes. 40 is the last one, right?
39, 40.
Oh, yeah, 39, 40, okay. Shall we read it, or we have only 5 minutes? Maybe next time. I'll just read the verse. Okay, let's read once. Yamunantar jale magnas. Yamunantar jale magna. Tapyamana param tapam. Tapyamana param tapah. Nivrittim mina rajasyam. Nivrittim mina rajasyam. Drishtva maithuna dharminaha. Drishtva maithuna dharminaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. So who is Saubhari Rishi? So they had this daughter, all those 50 daughters, or they got married to Saubhari. But who was Saubhari? Saubhari Rishi was engaged in austerity. He was fasting, like brahmachari, wearing simple dress, being very, like yesterday I heard from one brahmachari here. We were taking prasadam and somebody told him, a spoon? You want a spoon, Prabhu? I never eat with a spoon. I thought, wow, that's wow. I mean, wow. So that was somebody else. He never ate with a spoon. He always ate.
I ate pizza with my hands.
And ice cream also. I eat ice cream with my mouth. So deep in the water of the river Yamuna, when he saw a pair of fish engaged in sexual affairs, actually it's unimaginable. Fish. Because they don't have sexual, I mean, they, how you put this, how you call this? They put this, the eggs. Yeah, and then she fish puts the eggs and he fish just, does something with the eggs already. I mean, that's what he saw. They probably were just, just swimming next to each other and kind of, like fish that do like yeah, they're just playing there. And that was the trigger. Can you imagine? He didn't see, internet or Playboy, I don't know what. He didn't see, vivid things. He saw two fish. That's very important. If we're trying to escape from the world will catch up with us. And even just two fishes swimming next to each other, they will trigger this lust. Want to speak of other things. So he saw them, thus he perceived the pleasure of sex life. Thus he perceived the pleasure of sex life, and induced by this desire, he went to King Mandhata and begged for one of the king's daughters. In response to this request, begged. This is another thing. He begged. Of course, you may say in English, begged means asked, right? It's a synonym. But it's a kind of synonym that means that he was humiliated, basically. He was humiliating himself. Please, although he was a sage, he was higher than the king. But because of the lust, and this is what happens to us. So he went to the king and begged for one of the king's daughters. For only one, at least one. In response to the request, the king said, "Oh Brahmana," he was a very cultured person. They said that when somebody came, he was all in the seaweeds, maybe that's a joke, but he was not very, handsome looking, because he was old and he was under the water for many years. Yeah. So in response, the king said, "Oh Brahmana, any of my daughters may accept any husband according to her personal selection." Basically, he denied. He said, "Yes, they can decide themselves. That's not my I'm not responsible. I'm not going to give any of them to you." Prabhupada's purport. In the beginning of the story of Saubhari Rishi, this is the beginning of the story of Saubhari Rishi. According to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, Mandata was the king of Mathura, and Saubhari Rishi was engaged in austerities while submerged deep within the river Yamuna. When the Rishi felt sexual desire, he emerged from the water and went to King Mandhata to ask that one of the king's daughters become his wife. Yeah, okay, this is the situation. So once again, let's just conclude. We're not just coming to do any ritual here. Of course, it's not bad just coming to the temple. And I know one person, he was a lawyer in Moscow, and he heard someone told him that if you want good fortune, you should listen to Bhagavatam every morning. And he was going, "What is Bhagavatam?" And he searched something, and there was no internet, was not that very much developed. Somehow he found out that there is a Hare Krishna temple in the heart of Moscow, metro Bhagavad, and he just went there in the morning. He looked somewhere, so Bhagavatam is, they read Bhagavatam every morning, 8 o'clock, okay, I will come. And he started coming. He was just, can you imagine, just nothing, just this ordinary person, and he just came, and he was just sitting there. Now he's initiated for like more than 10 years already. I mean, that was long ago, but he was just listening. Of course, that's not bad, but if we want to benefit from Bhagavad, if we want to get proper benefit, we should be clear that it's not happening by chance. It's not mercy in the sense that you do nothing and you get everything. Mercy means that, anyways, mercy is another topic, but the point is that we have to work hard. We have to work hard to benefit from listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. And working hard means 4 things. Right, confirmed. 4 things which are, can you remember? Okay, 3 things. 3 things, you know the context. Second, what?
You contemplate on the meaning of life and you come in the question.
Not just contemplate on the meaning of life, that's right direction, but not correct. You set the goals. When we don't have goals in our life, that's called unconscious Krishna consciousness. Unconsciousness. Krishna unconsciousness society. When people are not conscious of their goals in life. So first, we should know the Bhagavatam, the text, the material. We should know what it is about. Second, we should put our goals. Okay, so I want this, I want that, we should formulate it. We should articulate what are our goals and put them down, not just think about some abstract ideas. And the third is that we're getting questions, right? And this is called attentive hearing. So if we hear attentively, then we can get benefit. And so this is the first thing that we discussed. And the second main thing is that when we go through Srimad Bhagavatam, we see these obstacles which are described in different cantos, and the last 9th canto, before the 10th, before we get access to the spiritual, to the Goloka Vrindavan. Before that, the last thing is lust. The last comes lust, or last comes the lust, right? And that is simultaneously a philosophical notion and a very practical thing. These are not different things, actually. It's not that philosophically I understand, but practically I'm doing different things. No, it's all connected. It's all connected. Anyways, that's also another topic. But the thing is that this lust and our efforts to escape from lust, this is the problem described in the 9th canto. The efforts to escape from lust, not to solve the problem of lust, but to try to escape from it. And when we try to escape, it will catch up with us. And it will be even worse. We will be humiliated, we will be broken, we will be, from, how they call it, from kings to
Falling from the base.
to potters. From kings to potters. Yeah, this is the situation. Anything else? Any comments, questions, remarks? Yes?
I just wanted to inquire about the story of Ajamil, who said Narayan, said the holy name before his death, and then he was back to Godhead.
No, he was not back to Godhead.
Oh, sorry.
He was. I'm sorry. Yeah, you finished.
No, I finished.
Ajamila was not taken to the spiritual world. All his sins were taken away from him. And then he had to practice Krishna consciousness. He went to Prayag. For many years he was practicing there. And then he got to the spiritual. He got results of spiritual practice then only. But because Nam Abbas is not taking one to the spiritual world. Only Shuddha Nam can do it. But Nam Abbas can take all your sins away. This is what happened to Ajamil. Yes?
Sorry, you said if we try to escape lust, it will catch us. What was your point? What we have to do?
We'll have to marry 50 girls. Girls here are our desires, basically. We have so many problems. Desires and problems, yeah. Girls means problems. In a good sense, please. It means that it's not that girls create problems, ladies create problems. No, but when you have a wife, then you can face your problems. Face your problems. Those are your problems, but you are hiding from them. And when you get married, then you see your problems. And you may blame your wife, but that's stupid. Am I right, ladies? No? I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, he asked me. I had to answer. He's a brahmachari. I'm also.
Hare Krishna. Can I add something also? Because problems are connected to the material progression, the material and the inferior energy. But if you are married with a devotee, the problem is how to serve Krishna. So this is also cooperation, and this is pleasant because more we are, we do better free to the Lord.
Yes.
So the point is we need to face our problems.
No.
You have to acknowledge your problems, because if you want to solve your problems, you have to acknowledge them. You don't have to aggravate the situation. Yeah, right? Am I proper word? I'm using not to make it worse. But you have to face in a sense that you have to acknowledge that I do have the problem. It's just like the Alcoholics Anonymous, right? AA. That if you want to get rid of alcoholism, right? Correct? You have to accept it first. That I am an alcoholic. I am an alcoholic. And then you can get rid of that. Before you do that, you cannot get rid of that because you think you're okay. And so Bharimuni, he was thinking, I'm okay, I will become better. It will become better if I, get into my bubble. But it didn't become better. It became only worse. Is it clear?
Yeah, and I was discussing this with one devotee, and he told me like this alcoholics they meet and they say I'm an alcoholic, and he was saying this is wrong because when you say it, you identify with this, you put like this etiquette, I'm an alcoholic, and then you identify with that. So how do we acknowledge?
Because you have to identify yourself with something. The point is that unless you identify yourself with something, you cannot act. And you cannot solve problems. So like you say, I'm a brahmachari. Lord Chaitanya says, Naham Vipro, Nachanara Patirna Pivashinashu, Naham Varni. He says, I'm not a brahmachari. But you say I'm a brahmachari. Because when you are placed in certain identity, then you can act. And by acting you can solve problems. Clear? Is it clear?
Mm.
Because unless you identify yourself with something, you will not be able to act. You will be just mentally speculating. So therefore, you have to identify, I'm an alcoholic. I am the embodied soul. I am, what's the word? Conditioned soul. I'm a conditioned soul. You're not a conditioned soul. You're free soul. But you have to identify yourself as a conditioned soul in order to act. Right?
Yeah, so in the same time we need to know that we are not this, that we are free.
You don't have to much think about that. Just you just keep it in mind that yes, I'm actually a free, like liberated soul, but right now I'm conditioned.
It's usually described as relative and like absolute. Like relatively unconditioned.
Yeah, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yes, last question by Krishna Pita or comment.
It was just an interesting point regarding this Leela, because he started out being interested in his own liberation, completely selfish,
Mhm.
And then as the Leela plays out, he marries all these 50 princesses, and then at the end of so many years, he becomes disgusted with the whole situation, and he becomes renounced, and the 40 princesses also become renounced. So the way it played out, he actually 51 people became liberated instead of just himself. It has a happy
It's a
ending.
good preaching strategy. It's a good preaching strategy for brahmacharis.
You want to destroy brahmacharis.
Yeah, maybe not 51, but at least your wife and children. We can live it. Oh, please, dear devotees, let us be very conscious. It's not about, these superficial things. Married, not married, brahmachari, grihastha, fallen, not fallen. We are all fallen. We should accept. We are fallen. We are in the material world. We think we are the body. And some of us will think, I'm the hero. We are the champions of the world. Yeah, we'll keep on fighting till the end, and the end is coming. You will keep on fighting till the end. It's coming soon, maybe today. So that's one category of people. Another category is our escapists, who think, oh no, I will just. This is called jnana. No, let me just I'll just do here shortcuts, and I'm not there. I'll take a shortcut. It's not working. It will never work. You cannot escape from the jail, from Durga. You can escape from these jails, some people do, but nobody escapes from Durga. Nobody. And if you try to escape, what will happen to you? If you try to escape from a jail, what happens? They catch you and they give you 2 years more for the attempt for escape, right? The same is here. If you try to escape Jnana Marg, even worse. So therefore, for the Vaishnavas, renunciation is not the means. It's not the means of spiritual progress. What is that verse about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? But by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Shiksharta Mekam Purusha Puran, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga, Shiksharta Mekam Purusha Purana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhori, Aham Buddhi, Tamaham Prapadya. Yeah, so he is giving bhakti, and which is manifesting as a renunciation. This is important not to interchange those things. It's not that by renunciation, because we are brahmacharis, sannyasis, we are going to get bhakti. No. If you're practicing bhakti, then you can get renunciation, proper renunciation. Vairagya, Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga. This Bhakti Yoga will manifest as Vairagya and Vidya. And Vidya means not just knowing things. Vidya means what? Acting according to what you know. This is called Vidya. Vidya is not just, being scholarly. Vidya is about acting properly amongst people in this world. This is called Vidya. I have to finish, otherwise people will curse me because everybody is hungry. What shall we do? Stop, or you want to ask?
Maybe we can do personal questions.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry for exprompt, so to say. This is his fault. He just told me. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Escaping the reality.
Gratharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanand.
Is it Vajra Prabhu ki jai.